Last week, apparently, Glenn Beck was on his show, and he's on and on talking about how this is his moment. This is his time. Because, he's currently going through this whole thing where he's not part of the Republican establishment anymore. The Republican establishment fears him. And he is so anti-Republican establishment, he's completely fine and cool and supportive of 9 out of the 10 Republicans running in the 2016 Republican presidential primary. I like them all but Jeb Bush. I'm so anti-establishment. Look at me. Just ridiculous, this guy. But he's also, along with being anti-establishment Republican, watch out, it's my time to shine. I'm going to speak truth to power and save the Republican Party and ruin the Republican establishment. The other issue he's focusing on, of course, is marriage equality. Because, as Glenn Beck says, it is the end of the world as Christians know it. Let's listen to this sound.
Persecution is coming. If this goes through, persecution is coming.
I'd say it's here.
Oh, it is. But I mean serious persecution.
Pause it.
Mark my word.
Persecution is here, but I'm talking about serious persecutions on the way. Like, we're talking real persecution here. Now, Jesus carrying the cross, that's persecution. But we're talking about, like, him getting nailed to the cross, and that's serious persecution. And that's on the way here. Us Christians, we're currently bearing that cross, but, like, in a couple of months, when, like, SCOTUS comes out for gay marriage, like, we're going to get nailed to it. That's the real persecution. Continue.
Ready for this one? Glenn Beck prediction.
No, did I get the calendar out?
Yep. Mm-hmm. No, I don't have a date on this one. So
okay.
You help me. You can help me refine this one. Here's my prediction. Okay, I'll say this. If gay marriage goes through the Supreme Court and gay marriage becomes fine and they can put teeth in it, so now they can go after the churches, like the president's lawyer says, 50% of our churches will fall away, meaning the congregations, within 5 years, the congregations, 50% of the congregants will fall away from their church because they won't be able to take the persecution. They will not put up with, they'll just say, you know what, I'm not going. Because the stigma of going to church will be too much.
It's interesting. I mean, the stigma of supporting the viewpoint you're talking about has already had people fired from their jobs. Giant fines have come down, as we talked about.
50%, mark my words, 50%, within 5 years, 50% of the people that you sit next to in church will not be there. And not because they're like, you know what, I think it's fine. Because they'll say, I can't do that. I'll lose my job. I've got people are picketing in my house. I just can't do that.
Oh my God. Listen, I agree. Well, first of all, let me play this for Glenn Beck. And let me play this for Glenn Beck because I agree with him. 50% of the people who go to church right now, maybe not that number quite, maybe a little bit less, maybe 25, 30%. Again, and this is my opinion here, where I agree with Glenn Beck, 25% people will stop going to church. And that's not because they're scared of President Obama and the government burning their church down and persecuting them and picketing outside their house and throwing them in jail. No, that's not why. It's because your religion is backwards and people are realizing it. 50% of people, the guy who sits next to you at church, maybe he won't be there anymore because he will be dead. Because he is old as shit and he is dying. And the young people are no longer putting up with this bullshit. I mean, as a non-practicing Catholic, I can tell you right now, I left the church years and years ago, not because I was afraid of being persecuted when gay marriage comes to law. In fact, when I stopped going to church, gay marriage was just an idea. I don't even think there was a state. Maybe California was going.
Mass was the first
Massachusetts,
state.
Yes. Maybe Massachusetts. But I'll tell you right now what turned me off, along with, the kid touching by priests. Their backwards ideas on progress. And this is the Catholic Church. one of the more progressive forms of Christianity. I mean, it's not quite. There are Christian sects
They
that
ain't Quakers.
Yes.
But I know what you're saying. No, there's a social justice tradition in
Yes.
Catholicism that's
and
very
I know,
noble.
and I know many Catholics who have been turned off from the church specifically on how they view marriage equality.
I dated a girl who still considered herself Catholic, but is contraception and marriage equality.
Yes.
She wouldn't go anymore.
Yeah, marriage equality is a huge issue to
And
men.
she lived in a place where it was still like a big deal.
And I can tell you where I live in New York City, in New York City in general, the Catholic Church has been doing some major reconstruction of the dioceses because they are closing schools and churches because they are losing members and they cannot afford to keep things open because there are not enough people going to church because they are turning them off with their backwards views of marriage equality, abortion, contraception, numerous other issues, and along with their priests being pedophiles. But Glenn Beck, he is so out of touch. For someone who claims that he is coming out and he's in touch with the people and he's going to show, it's just incredible to me that this guy goes out there and he can actually say something that, he's right. Less and less people will continue to go to church. But he's absolutely 100% wrong as to why that's happening.